this was a Famicom cartridge that I more or less got by accident, since it was part of a package of games that included a few I wanted in particular. In retrospect, it was maybe a happy accident, as Power Blazer alone now seems to sell for more than what I paid for that whole collection back then. Indeed, I may still sell it yet, since I'm actually not a huge fan of the game, but it does have an interesting history behind it because of how it was localized. Well, by 1990, Mega Man was certainly an established and popular franchise. Unsurprisingly, it inspired a number of imitators who sought to capture some of its specific style of action platforming. There are a fair number of them across a variety of platforms, such as Jalaco's Wampum on NES, Shockman on the TurboGrafx, and I guess the Psychic World on the Master System and Game Gear. And then, of course, we got Power Blazer here. While I'm looking at it, one thing that does strike me about the label art is how different it is to the traditional manga-style art at the time. It's very rough and organic in a very pleasing way, and it reminds me immediately of another Taito game that I got called Heavy Unit on the PC Engine, which had a kind of a similar art style. I guess I wish I knew the artist's name, as I suspect they deserve some recognition for such distinctive work. Speaking of art, of course, this is a good time to talk about what was changed, the localization from Power Blazer to Power Blade in North America. The main character was changed into a more adult-looking figure, and it still being the 80s, it shouldn't be too surprising where the main source of inspiration came from. But the changes were much more than superficial. If you've ever had the chance to putter around with Power Blade in emulation, as I know the original card is actually quite expensive, then you'll probably be quite taken aback by just how much was changed in the level designs. It was much more than a superficial switch up in the character sprites. I suspect the only way to really show off those differences is to actually get into it and play the game itself. So let's do that now. All right, here we are, Power Blazer, and our goofy-headed not Mega Man. The thing about this opening is really funny to me, having seen the North American version. That big head. Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's get this thing going. I've been practicing a bit, so I can actually do one level on this, which is more than I was able to do before. I'll start right at the start here. So you can choose your levels just like Mega Man. But the weird thing is, because you don't really get power-ups the same way, like you don't get a boss's power, so it's sort of arbitrary whatever level you want to start with first. I'm just starting with this one because I know I can do it, which is more than I can say about the rest of them. So this will probably look familiar if you played Super Mario Bros. 3. I don't think this... Yeah, I guess Mario Bros. 3 would have come out before this came out. I can do this part okay. I think there's only one part where there's like an unfair hit, which I've already passed, so... And for this guy, you gotta wait for him to turn his back. Ed 209 here. Okay, good stuff. Now we just gotta run. So I don't get shot. Okay, good, that's good. These guys are a pain in the butt. You probably... Yeah, they're well, gonna get hit anyway. But you probably recognize those guys a bit from the Mega Man. The platforming in this game is not great. It doesn't feel great. The hitboxes are really finicky. Okay, I'm doing okay so far. The ladders are really finicky sometimes. Oh, I missed a chance to get him there. There we go. Okay, I'm doing alright. Well, I'm gonna get this one up. Like I said, the platforming is so finicky sometimes, so I'm really trying to be careful here. Okay, practicing. That practice really paid off so far. I've taken a really very few hits. Whoops. Oh, just forget it. Okay, we're on the home stretch. My goodness, I'm doing a lot better than I usually do. The fences are kind of cool because, like, this is before Super Mario World, so that's... But you don't want to do this. This is just avoidance. Oh, I didn't even mean to get that. Yeah, see, no. God, I keep accidentally getting onto the fence. I don't want to get onto the fence. Really screwing myself over at this point a little bit. No, darn it. Okay, well, this is still fine. No, this is not fine. This is not fine. One hit and I'm down. And this is the boss stage, but hopefully I think the checkpointing starts me off here. If things go badly, it'll be okay. At this point, it's just a matter of whether or not I get some unfair hits or not. This boss is not difficult or smart. It's just, this is it. This is the whole boss fight. A big problem I have with this game, I think, is the hit response. Like, it's hard to know when you're hitting an enemy sometimes if they take multiple hits. Like, did I hit him? Did I not hit him? I can't tell you. No idea. There's not enough of like a hit flash, or, you know. Yeah, this is, this is more tedious than fun, which I think sums up a lot of my feelings about this game generally, to be honest. Like, the Mega Man formula works so well. Like, that is so intrinsically fun. Like, the platforming and the shooting and you know, it's... But this game just doesn't get it right. It's just so tedious, and the hit, you know... And it gives you... Yeah, that was inevitable. Alright, we'll give it one more try here. This should be fine. This will be doable. And then we'll show off another level to show you how unfun this game can really be. So yeah, there's a sound there when I hit him, so... But that's about it. That's all you get. I assume I hit him there? Who knows? So all things being equal, I mean, it's not terrible. Like, you can sort of see why they decided to port this game to North America and they made the changes that they did to improve it, because this game needed help. But there's enough bones here that, you know, you can sort of see it's almost good enough to be... I'm just trying to concentrate a little bit here. But there's just so much of this game is just so uninspired and goofy. Yeah, I think I got him there. There we go, that's good. So that's about as much as I could hope for on any given run of this game. Stage clear. So if you ever played Power Blade, like, you know, the level select screen looks very different, but you'll probably recognize the space shuttle level. And if you played that game, then this will blow your mind, because this is completely different, like very different. Like, that's fair, right? That's a fair enemy, right? I mean, you do get guys like that in Mega Man, but they have predictable patterns. Like, it's... And the power-ups you get are so rare, like for your boomerang. Like, they come out as enemy drops, but they're just so uncommon. And the B is a smart bomb, basically. So if I hit the select button, boom. Now here's the bit where I give up. So you recognize these things. I mean, they were in Mega Man, but how was I going to avoid that? Like, does the timing work? Like, how? You can slow them with your boomerang, right? But that's the only thing I can think of is, but it's so finicky. Like, I have no idea how you're supposed to get by this. I've never gotten by this. And the checkpointing is fun, obviously. You can see how fun the checkpointing is to put me all the way back to the start. Yeah, so I think that's it. I mean, I'm sort of tempted just to at least get back to where I was before and give up, but... So like I said, this game goes for a little bit of money. Like, in terms of standard Famicom prices, this is like in the mid-range. Like, it's not super expensive, but certainly more than I would ever want to pay for it. I must have got lucky just getting it in that pile. But boy, whew, whew, it's hopeless. This level is hopeless. I'd love to know how it's... I'd have to watch a speed... Okay, there we go. That was... I doubt I could replicate that. Okay, so that's how you do it, basically. Interesting, interesting. Okay, interesting. Okay, but even saying that, okay, I'm going to call it quits here. Not a great game, but interesting. I mean, you can sort of see why they decided to bring it over and why they made so many radical changes to it to localize it. They definitely improved it in Power Blade. But although I think the conceit of having a boomerang with such a short range is such a Bummer. All right, that's it. Let's bounce out of here. Get you home. So that was Power Blazer. Really, it's kind of a miserable Mega Man clone that I confess I really didn't care for. I might put some more time into Power Blade, though, since that seems to be a much more fair game, really. Anyway, thanks for checking this out with me, and hope I'll catch you next time.